Hello, welcome back to another Theory Thursday. Today we are looking at the overarching question everybody has. What even is music theory? Why is it important? What is it? What are the parts to it? Do you need to know it? All that stuff. So that's what we're going to talk about today. What is music theory? I've got my Orient Bambino on, given to me by one of my best friends, and my blue polka dot tie. That's what's going on today. So, as always, if you've been enjoying the theory videos, tune videos, the just the music videos, all of it, a like and subscribe is always appreciated. Of course, not necessary. Just keeps the channel going, the community growing. So, without further ado, what is music theory? Let's go. So I thought this would be a fun one to do. I just Googled the question, what is music theory, just to see what would come up. And I actually like the definition that Google gave. And here it is. Music theory is the study of how music is organized and how elements combine to create harmony, melody, rhythm, and form. It's essentially the grammar of music, providing a framework for understanding, analyzing, and creating musical pieces. So there you go. That's Google's definition of what is music theory. And I agree with all of this. We've talked about this before, about is it necessary? How much do you need to know? And of course, you guys know where I stand. And that's firmly in the it is necessary camp, with the caveat of how much do you need to know? Because knowing where a G chord is on the guitar, even knowing what a G chord is, not just where it is music theory. Like you've already learned it. You're into it now. That's music theory. Just the fact that this cluster of notes that you're playing here is called something, and you know what it's called. That's you knowing some music theory. So that's my stance on is you need to know music theory to play any instrument well, because you need to know what you're playing at the very least. That's not to say you need to know what an augmented or a German sixth chord is and the different cadences and all that stuff. And of course, coming from me, I think the more information, the better. But is it necessary? Depends. Anyway, you guys know where I stand on that. So the question is, what is music theory, though? I agree with all this. And Google went farther and divided it into 5 sections. And so I've made a little changes to each one. But I really like these. So it divides up music theory into 5 sections. So check this out. Section 1. Building blocks. Now, this section, building blocks, is notes, scales, intervals, chords, modes, anything else that you can put a name onto is what we would call a building block. So you see a chord chart and you see a G standing over the lyrics. Knowing that that is a G chord and where that is on the guitar, that's a building block. Right? Just knowing, not how to connect everything, but just knowing what things are. What are the names for things? What are they called? Knowing what note, even if it's not a G chord, if you see a G note on the staff, knowing that it's a G, that's what I would call a building block, right? Separate pieces of music, literature, knowing what they are, what the names are, how to find them. Those are the building blocks, okay? And this is usually the stuff that people absolutely hate, right? They learn the minimum, right? Your chords, knowing where they are on the guitar, and then they stop learning the rest of the building blocks. And that's okay. But that's this section is the names of things and what they are on the sheet, right? 2, section 2, organization. music theory is organization, how to arrange the building blocks from section 1 to get melodies, harmonies, rhythmic patterns, etc., forms, all that stuff. Okay, organization. So using, then, right, this is where we start combining pieces of the building blocks, is, you know, building blocks like a C note, an E note, and a G note, and the organization comes in saying, well, you can stack those notes all together, play them all at the same time. That's a pretty good sounding sound. What is that? That's a C chord, right? And that's how you organize notes to create structure, right? Melodies and harmonies and rhythmic patterns and all that stuff, right? That's where the organization comes in. So it's the knowledge is the building blocks, and the organization is take this knowledge and how do you use it, right? How do you use it? Organization. Section 3, what is music theory? Analysis. Music theory gives us the structure to be able to analyze other pieces of music. Now, why does that matter? Well, now that we have names for things and we know how we can organize things, we can look at another piece of music, and maybe it's a piece of music that we really, really, really like. We want to know, why do we like it so much? Well, now we have the tools to figure out why. Like maybe we're in the key of C, and all of a sudden I see a chord that has an F, an A flat, and a C in it. And you go, that would be an F minor chord, but we're in the key of C. That doesn't fit there. And all of a sudden you uncover this. Oh, this is a minor 4 chord. It sounds pretty good, actually, in a major key if you're going back to the 1 chord. So being able just to have the names of things and taking a look at another piece of music that's not your own and being able to read it, analyze it, and see why things work and why things don't work. Maybe there's something you don't like in a song. And that gives you the tools to figure out why. And then you can steer clear of that when you're writing, right? So analysis. Okay, that's 3. Number 4, which I've brought up before and I argue is probably the most important reason of learning music theory. Number 4, communication. Music theory communication gives musicians a structure to be able to communicate their musical ideas and understand the work of others. Now, why is this important? Because it gets things moving fast. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're at a gig or you're at a rehearsal and you're trying to learn tunes and someone wrote this tune and they can just go, yeah, we're in the key of G, it's 1, 5, 6, 4. Like, okay, easy. I'm going to be on my guitar. I know it's a G, a D, an E minor, and a C chord. Easy peasy. Oh, yeah, the bridge starts with a 3 chord. Okay, that's great. That's a B minor chord. Easy peasy. Right? Now we're talking in a language that we both know, and things get moving quick. I mean, you can go even farther down. Like, hey, when we get to this section, can you play a G major 7 arpeggio over it? It's like, oh, yeah, easy. Right? Those are all pieces that you wouldn't be able to talk about with music theory. The only other way to communicate them would be to show them so people could listen. And a lot of people, this was me as a child as well, have really good ears and they shy away from learning the definitions of things because they can pick it up with just their ear and they rely on that. And like I said, that I got through a lot of piano lessons like that, just using my ear to get through things without actually knowing what's going on the paper and what's going on with my hands. I just knew where to go because it sounded good. Right? Now, the disadvantage to that is you can't talk to the other musicians about what you want, about what they want. The only other alternative is for them to say, can you play a G major 7 arpeggio over this? And you say, what fret is that? Tell me what fingers to use. I don't know what that is. And then they have to sit down and show you it's a G, B, D, F sharp, right? So communication, I think, is huge. It's one of the biggest benefits of learning music theory there is. Just being able to talk to other musicians and things move quick. Because you all know what you're talking about. So that's that. Section 4. Section 5. What is music theory? What's it good for? What do you use it for? Creation. Right? The pinnacle. Creating music. Isn't that what we're all here for anyway? Whether you're creating or playing someone else's creation, that's what we're doing, right? It's all just creation, right? Somewhere, some time, long ago, in a dark room, Bach sat down and wrote out a piece of music, and here I am playing it in 2025, right? He created that thing. He thought it was important enough to write down and memorialize and create. And look where it is now, right? People are playing it all over the world, still to this day. Creation. Music theory gives us the tools to create. Now, you can create without music theory. But if you start writing down things that only you're going to understand, no one else is going to be able to play it. They'll look at that piece of paper, think it's gibberish, because maybe you're using a triangle for a G shape and a circle for a D shape, right? What the heck does that mean? No. Music theory gives us the power of creation, provides tools to compose, arrange, and improvise. Now that's mostly in the jazz realm, although it didn't used to only be in the jazz realm. There's a lot of history and accounts of improvisation in classical period, Baroque period, a lot of ornamentation. It was used as there's a flashy thing, like, hey, look what I can do. Right? I don't need music for this. Right, that was improvisation in the Baroque period. So, creation. It gives you the tools to compose, arrange, and improvise. Not only that, but it gives you the tools to compose, arrange, and improvise, and then have other musicians read it and play it and be able to continue on the legacy of whatever you wrote down, right? So I thought that was a pretty good explanation of music theory. I really like the definition and breaking it into these 5 sections about what it's good for, what it does. I really like. So just as a recap, here's the definition one more time. What is music theory? Music theory is the study of how music is organized and how elements combine to create harmony, melody, rhythm, and form. It's essentially the grammar of music. They put the quotations in, not me. Providing a framework for understanding, analyzing, and creating musical pieces. Split up into 5 areas of definition and usability. Sorry, my nose really itches. Category 1, building blocks, which includes your notes, scales, intervals, chords, modes, and so on and so forth. That is not an exhaustive list, of course. Category 2, organization, how to arrange the building blocks to get melodies, harmonies, rhythmic patterns, form, etc. Category 3, analysis. Theory gives us the structure to be able to analyze other pieces of music, studying why things work and why they don't work. Category 4, communication. Gives musicians a structure to be able to communicate their musical ideas and understand the work of others. And category 5, creation. Music theory provides tools to compose, arrange, improvise, and memorialize, really, because other musicians will be able to read and play what you create. Okay, I think that's enough information for today. It was more of an opinion piece today, but I really like that, breaking it up into the 5 sections like that. So, hopefully you learned something, or at least it was thought-provoking, and we'll see you for the next one.